Really? And that as soon as hello and welcome to today's stream. I'm Professor Bodhi, aka Mr. Bonny John. Let's begin. I was gonna say let us begin, but then I think of lettuce to eat. Anyway, great start we've had for today. I hope you've had a wonderful day. I've been working on my D&D one-shot, something that I had been starting all the way back in January. I wanted to still be creative while I had my downtime with my arm. And this Friday, I finally get to tell that story. So I've just been kind of going back and rewriting little bits, adjusting things. One of the players couldn't make it this week, so someone else is taking over. Anyway, welcome into Alex and JC. Welcome in, welcome in. Good to see you guys. Will we be naming this lad on stream as well? I vote for the name Garvin the Gibberer. No, absolutely not. Okay, so chat. We've worked on these characters a short while ago, but it was this interesting thing that had happened where we have characters where we have to denote that these are human characters, right? But the human characters were created to kind of exist alongside, I guess you could say, invisible monsters, because it's not like I really had POTEMPO or whatever I ended up changing it. I've been thinking about POTEMPO. I kind of like ZOTEMPO as well. Zo kind of getting in towards like zoo, a zoo of beasts and creatures and whatnot. But regardless, what happens when you create characters for, a game or a world that is going to be shared with a whole bunch of creatures? I think that now that I've got a better handle on, all of these worlds and characters and creatures that I've been building, thinking about, I'll be able to, land closer and closer to the characters and heroes that I expect to be in this game that will raise the POTEMPO, right? So I think what I'm going to do is I want to go in here. Also, if you can't hear, there's a lot of rain and thunder in the background. If my connection goes out, I'll try and figure out what to do, but that's just something to be wary of. So there are a bunch of designs here that I think I can kind of find and utilize. A lot of these will need some sort of touch up it's definitely been a while since um, I've looked at all of these guys. I've got to add a few more to the list as well. I'd say I really like these two down here. Felt like I got some sort of. I feel like I crossed a good threshold of understanding the design philosophy I was trying to set up. Other than that, yeah, the second passes for all these guys are gonna do wonders. It's gibberer. Unless I'm spelling that, it might be gibberer. You are the master of your own destiny. You tell me. Oh, that's right. We need to create some intro forms for these guys over here. Okay. Let's go ahead and bring those guys over. With these guys at the side, and I'll probably just do one at a time. It'll really kind of ground the characters, right? Not that I think this creature is like a starter or anything, but he's got a fun and interesting design, you know? Made him a decent size. We've got the lines for the hero. I'll bring in this over here. Let me know what you guys think as I end up working on these guys. Yesterday I was talking about, whether or not we'd have lanterns or something of the like. Today, I do believe that it's going to be a different story with the approach that I was thinking with the lanterns, because by the end of it, I wasn't really even sure if I wanted to do lanterns. It may or may still not be a thing. The size is going to be a big thing. As I was saying yesterday, the idea of them expanding is really nice, but it's just more Pokemon than it is anything else. So they may need to be some sort of specific, some of all of its parts type of deal, right? So if I do go the route where it's, I guess, a sword or a torch, that can be unique to various people, right? But they can still have their individual little, maybe something like chamber. I was thinking like a chamber pot. One in the chamber. A sword, and you're building out its blade. Or at least a staff, right? Will the people in this world have real names or D&D-esque names where it's all made up? I think, you know what, Alex? I think it would be cool to do like fun made up names, but honestly, I worry that if I were to go that route, it would be, I don't know. I think some characters could have made up names, but I'll probably be using, I don't want to say regular names, but it may be a mix, maybe the spelling is funny and different, right? I like the idea of Mahavir for great hero, or just Vir, which means hero, if we can throw name ideas out. Yeah, it could be something that has like a meaning and inspiration. Sapphire writes, talisman would be cool, and you could keep them in chains and have them be customizable like Mega Evolution keystones. The thing is, so talisman, keep them in chains. What does that mean exactly? Can you expand? I'm getting more and more closer to potentially creating some kind of like torch or something, I do want to give this guy, I want to give him goggles, but goggles are like a quintessential Digimon kind of thing, So maybe I won't do goggles. Let's color the hero just a bit. And the thing is, it's a very fun task to come up with a hero. A long time ago, I feel like I do want to do red, once again, I worry about Pokemon, so it might be something like orange and green. Um, it'll feel very. I think that would look very cool. It's like very, I don't want to say tribal, but there is something earthy and tonal to it, right? Also, while I'm doing this, can someone find out for me how auto touch properties? Ever since I did this update, it'll automatically um standard gestures. I don't want to do any gestures. Okay, I don't think I. Wait, what? Okay, this should be good. Little wooden talisman to match the first stage mask. Hello, Dingus. Welcome in. I can sketch the idea if that'd help. You could, but I'm, I'm mostly trying to, sort all this stuff by myself, like this journey, um, especially the art side of things. And as I was saying before, doing anything like why Photoshop? Every single day you give me something to be annoyed about. I want to leave Adobe ASAP. Okay. Match the first stage mask. Yeah. So as I was saying yesterday, the thing with that is it becomes a thing where if I were to opacity, okay. What is going? Okay. My pressure sensitivity seems to have gone, which is very annoying. Okay, I'm just going to survive. This thing, Photoshop will be the end of me. But anyway, as I was saying, the idea that my capture devices needs to be what does the David Boy tip jar on the layout do? So whenever I'll show you. Yeah, leave a tip to find out. Hello, welcome in, Draco. What happens is anytime we get a subscription or a tip or anything, and I'll show you right here real quick. So wait and see, and you can see once the tip jar loads in, all the last kind of events of things kind of jump in and kind of change. So it's like a little Plinko game anytime there's like a new sub or a dono, that kind of stuff, right? But anyway, the importance of, say, a capture device, right, is in a perfect world where I have so much time and all this kind of stuff, maybe I could come up with something and give truly like every character their own tiki kind of mask, thingy carving. But that's just a ton of work. It's just it's really not feasible at all, right? From a design perspective, let's say for animation. What's up, Mod Seraph? Welcome in. So say from a animation perspective, to be on model for every POTEMPO to have their own would be insane, right? It's like so much work for the animators if you're modeling and creating, right? you already have all those creatures to design. Now you'd have to add on um, designing as many characters. Well, I guess not as many, but each line. It's just feasibly more work that's going to be taking away um, from proper development. All right. So, chat, while I'm working on this guy here, it looks a little scary. Um, Tell me, when it comes to the heroes in games and whatnot and stuff that you play, um, what would you say is kind of the noticeable kind of features of these heroes, right? Like if we were to look at say characters like um I don't know, like I guess Ash, right? Ash and Ty, for example. What can you guys tell me is visually something that's similar? Um, you know, I don't have money, but it's pretty cool. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's and you don't have to donate to see anything. Like if anyone were to subscribe, if they were to um do that kind of stuff, it activates, right? You better set a timer. The Goatski. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Welcome in, Blue. Let's go ahead and do that. Hey Siri, set a timer for 30 minutes. All right, let's get it. Thank you so much. I was feeling it last night when I got off too, because then I also ended up staying a little longer. And yeah. So let's go ahead and we'll continue kind of like putting down these details. Ooh, big thunder in the back. So, as I was saying before, what, if anything, right, visual wise, not personality wise, does like say Ty, maybe Tyson from what is that? Beyblade. What's the kind of stuff that we see in their designs that can kind of infer that they're the hero, right? Is it a strong, solid color of like you can kind of say like, in a way, right? Red is a very passionate color. You see it in a lot of bad guys, but both Ash and Ty feature a lot of blue, right? But then the Pokemon hero Red, of course, wears a lot of red. There's something very passionate about that color, right? But so basically what I mean was like an African mouse, but shrunken down to say, let's say the size of a quarter or maybe slightly bigger. The talisman would not be specific to species, but the domain. They'd be small. Hello, Ghost. They'd be so small you could wear them like on necklaces. Each talisman would have a crystal with a little ember in it representing the POTEMPO. They both have spiky hair. That's true. Sometimes headstrong. Yep. What's his name? No name yet. Since I'm not really working on the capture device, I won't discuss too much about it. But yeah, that kind of stuff, don't get me wrong, is stuff I've definitely thought about. Like I've thought about every kind of capture device that you can think of, just because I don't work on it, say, on stream. There's a lot of stuff I do for this outside of stream. This version, I think I might give him like pants. I want to make him like a hero where he feels like tribal, but still got like a nice, cool kind of fit, when I look at the first version, which is fine, it's just a first pass, which by the way is this version right here. He feels a little too tribal for me, which depends on the setting and context. Could be a good thing, but I think the world that I'm picturing, it's not like a super primitive world. You could argue they're like from a different tribe and whatnot, but Prime colors are for heroes, indeed. I feel like there's always something that pops out. Exactly, right? Goggles for the Digimon Pro Tag. Sora has not a, even the Keyblade is chain around his neck. Something that pops out. Yeah. So what is it, you know, that this character is going to have that makes him stick out, right? As Mod Seraph said, um, the Keyblade, um, that whole element, of course, that's his weapon, right? So that's his version of Ash's, say, Pokeball or Taichi's Digivice, right? And as we were saying, it's not like Ash has a specific um, a specific Pokeball, right? That's kind of the tricky thing of having like something like the Pokeball, which is this nondescript invention. You know, like everyone in the Pokemon universe can have one. Now, we do come across people who have like unique Pokeballs, and that's very much hero stuff, right? I think in the latest one, especially with the Black Rayquaza, for example, there's mystery and intrigue. So that's why I want my capture device to be kind of like both sides of that, right? Um, I don't know what exactly this look is, but I'm gonna slowly figure it out. So bear with me. Um, a necklace is always like a safe bet. I don't know if I want to give him a necklace. I could. Um, it does have to probably be some sort of accessory. Um, I mean, as like the player character, it could really be. This thing is. Hold on, Chad. Hold on. Okay, do that. All right, I think I'm good now. Blue's very heroic colors scheme in Batman, Superman, Spider-Man, and so on. Yeah, with let's see. This character radiates BDE. Danny, he's a little kid. You nasty. Who's the little turtle shell hat? I missed that stream. He is he's a cute little guy. He evolves into he's got like a rice hat style shell, and then he'll evolve into this big fortress back kind of Mata inspired turtle. So let me see. Are you going to have rural? Are you going for like rural vibes? Yeah, maybe rural. It'll be like look feel is very important, right? Like Pokemon does have a look feel in its designs. With Digimon, it's mostly like kids just being kids. I want to see if I can design something really cool as far as a look, Um, and I think it's doing something that feels tribal yet um you know modern somehow, and then that way when you look at it you're like, oh yeah, I can kind of imagine what the rest of these people all look like in POTEMPO. Now I like the green and orange, but it really might not need to be something like red and blue and stuff, right? Would a lantern be too heavy to wear around his neck, and then he can attach it to the stick? What's his partner? He doesn't really have a partner as of yet. It's still too early to say. Hello, Oni. Welcome in. You gotta ask. I'm not even getting in there. Blue's very heroic scheme. I think for the Pokemon Pro tags, they have different hats. Yeah, Pikachu got like 25 different Ash hats. Peperace? Who's Peperace? Has this thing called Ghost Punk? Maybe that would be Danny, you nasty. Welcome in, Danny. Maybe instead of having pastel, more earthy colors. Not sure if you're interested, but most primary colors. It's surprising. Yeah, no, for sure. It makes sense to do that, right? I just met him, love him. Turtles are so good. Hell yeah. Pokemon Pro tags. Oh, wear some sort of hat or head covering. So I don't care if it's a turtle, it's not a starter. It would be my story because I freaking love that. Hell yeah. And look, the cool thing is, as I've been saying before, also this guy's face is looking janky as hell. Let me try and fix Buddy's face. Um, the the important thing is, and that's why I kind of don't want to do starters, right? I hear all the time, like a lot of comments and stuff. People will be like, "Oh, are you going to design the mascot? Are you going to design the starters? Are you going to design?" I don't mind, of course, trying to make my own variations on a lot of things, without a doubt. Um, but I do. I also want to, when I can, subvert expectation, and above all, um, I don't want um people to, if they see like, oh, Bond's thing has this, that, the other, um, they're going to just kind of either assume it's a Pokemon like, which this is to some degree. It looks angry. Um, I just want to set expectations, you know? Why does this look jank, yo? Why does this look jank? Um, don't face shame him. He's just a child. Stop it, Danny. Stop it. No, we caught you in 4K. People are saying the same things. Okay, speaking of POTEMPO, I'm not sure if you thought of a full line for Baku Kujira, but I thought cool choices. Falling too much. Yeah, no worries. We can hold on to that until we get to that day for sure. Because I'm not gonna remember it. But I've got to like double check. It's been a while since I've um really looked at um the POTEMPO Excel sheet that I have. I just knew I was like, I had a family emergency that I had to get to, and I couldn't stream for a little bit. And I'm like, when I get back, I'm gonna go to town and get like some really cool designs done. And that's true, right? We got Cthulhu. Can you guys hear the thunder in the background? It's actually crazy. Um, why does he look funky, chat? Oh, maybe it's, you know what? It could be that the eyes are kind of close. That's what it is. So if the character is gonna need, I don't know, I guess reds or blues, then so it shall be. But it would be cool if I could pull off, there we go. That does look better. Um, I want to see if I could pull off something different. But there is a reason why, a lot of these things are tried and true, right? Why do most of the characters have um red, blue, I love Metal Gear, so I kind of wanted to give him a bandana. Originally, we had the goggles on top, um, but it just might be better to let the goggles stay with Digimon, right? Hats are very much a Pokemon thing. Let me pull this out and plug it back in. As I said, the touch sensitivity has kind of been, no. There's certain tropes that use that, like goggles used for impulsive characters. Here's a question for the player character: can we customize them? I'm not sure. I mean, it's way too early to say. Ideally, in a perfect world, sure, but it depends, right? If I'm trying to tell a specific story with the characters, then probably not. If it's more like, like for example, am I gonna make Ash the main character, where Ash has like a specific story I'd want you guys to play, right? Or is it like I'm making you red? And I think both are valid. You know, I think for a beginner game and all that kind of stuff, a singular kind of pro tag, um, kind of like Final Fantasy, right? When you play Final Fantasy X, you play as Titus, right? You can, customize things about him, right? The weapons he uses and like the play style, but his look is the same because he's the same character, right? Um, if anyone can pull it off, it's you, Bomb. Plus, this kind of palette fits you and your style more. Hey, thank you, Danny. What about match for the POTEMPO pro tags? That is true. You could have maybe not so much the pro tags, maybe a certain like, um, what's the word? A certain um sect of people, right? Maybe that could be like cool people who, you know. I kind of want to give him something like this, where one of the bangs go like this, and then the other. I don't know why, but I feel like that looks cool. Is that dumb or cool? Hold on, let me see from your guys' perspective. It's kind of like windswept, and then I'm not gonna give him super long hair anymore. I think I'm gonna just do something like that. Okay, all right. I think the other one, I had a different kind of image in mind for a hero. Are you going with bandanas? For now, for now. Um, and even then, it might not be like the de facto quote unquote feature, right? Um, it might be something that kind of like unearths itself after some time. But already, like, look at the difference. Like I said, this guy, he's got a different vibe to him. You see how he like feels somewhat still, got like a tribal vibe. Yet, let's keep going. Let me know what you guys think. Not sure if you're gonna have a uniform type cloth for your trainers. In my own, I'm using a strip of cloth that's worn differently. Oh, nice. Yeah. Um, that's a great question. Honestly, like since as I was saying before, the closest I can answer that question to is that because I don't know what this is supposed to be. It was supposed to be kind of like a kilt like a thing, but it looks like it could be kind of like an overalls kind of thing, you know? But then maybe the bottom piece shouldn't be black because if the top half is black as well, we'll just keep going. Um, so don't. Hmm. This guy does look pretty cool. He does look like a hero. The green and orange. I feel like realistically, even though Danny was saying I could pull it off, and I could, I wonder if, like, if I really were to shift over the red top, for example, into, or the orange top into red, and then the bottom half into like blue, I feel like that would scream main character. I feel like he still has main character vibes though. You know, it's just fanny pack. Yo, honestly, fanny packs are cool. I bought one when I went to Japan. It's a must have. All right, so we've got the black shirt. The black part is kind of like throwing me off because if you are a hero, you're not always going to be seen with black. So I might have to change that color. Christmas colors? Orange and green? Red and green, you mean? Or you want me to go red and green? I like the yellow boots. Reminds me of Tim's back in New York. nice bright color, right? At the very least, the hero is going to have like some sort of bright color palette. So the black could help mute a lot of that stuff, you know? I've been saying that for years. Yeah. I think I'm gonna get rid of his cape. As much as I love the cape, it's, I mean, never say never. But I feel like a cape would be really hard, not hard to animate, but like it's just one more thing you have to like really consider, you know? Yeah, this guy is cool. You can tell they're protagonists because of the colored hair. That's true. I'm also, I grew up with fanny packs. Hey, oh yeah, brother. Me too. Um, well, I say that and then I returned my fanny pack after my Japan trip because like I don't have the confidence to put. What was it? A fanny pack? Well, you no. So it was like a crossbody bag, and then you could like put it in your around your waist. You know. Um. All right. What do we think? I think he looks mad cool. Like it's got like very Kingdom Hearts vibes, right? Which I mean, I've always loved. So maybe that's kind of like a subtle not homage. I'm not trying to. All right, let's see. We've got the green, the orange. Actually, as an accent color, I guess it would probably be orange down here, orange here. That's not bad. Hold on. That's not bad. Now, another thing we will have to figure out is making sure that most importantly, how the POTEMPO is going to be a part of this design, right? Like, so if this were a Pokemon character, he would have, oh, and he would have like a Pokeball right here, right? Like that's kind of like this really nice subtle thing that we can do. So as Oni was mentioning, are there ways to like kind of make it seem obvious that someone is like a POTEMPO instead of a hoodie, maybe it's something like this. Like more of like just this wide collar kind of thing. When you bless you for thinking the animators, Danny's is my animator. Um, Such a good song. Give me harder, worker, and motivated. The apron work boots. You need some pockets that holds many knives. You can't make a carrying not give them lots of stabby knives. True. How would we see the game in third person first? Ideally, it would definitely be something like third person, right? I don't necessarily picture it top down like the original Pokemon games. Um, but again, so much of this stuff is like way too early for me to decide. Like, do I want to be the game developer? Yes. Do I want to be the game director? Yes. Do I have that experience? No. I would want to work as closely as possible with the visual elements, right? Um, that's again, if any of this stuff is a video game, right? It could still very well be um, some sort of um, tabletop game, right? All right, I'm gonna start messing around with the colors. I like this quite a bit, but again, it's just kind of the first take. I don't know if I love the black. It is a nice kind of muted color. Um, Actually, you know what? In the same way that I can have like a nice harmony, I can have, yeah, something like that. The diamonds, I'm kind of like looking them at as them as like teeth and stuff, and they just look, you know, like a very simple. And I'm not trying to use the word primitive in like a negative capacity. Um, but blocky shapes like that and stuff kind of feel like more ancient and interesting to look at. As much as I love the green and orange shot, like I'm really picturing that the main character. It's been over 30 minutes. Oh, that's true. Thank you, Danny. Thank you. You decided to do a TTG. I know a few affordable manufacturers. Goatsky, thank you. Let's see. Started mine at my timer 30 minutes or 25 minutes ago. I'll just do it now. All right, everyone stretch with me. Oh, it's so hot. 38 degrees temperature. Okay. I do like this guy a lot. The turtle might be looking a little too big for first stage. Oh, I barely stretched. Let me. Who else should I work on today? Like, I think you know what the next thing I'll work on is the, um, like the professor type of person, because he's gonna have a look. So in the vein that in Pokemon, right? Anybody could be a trainer. However, you know, that's because Pokemon and like Pokeballs are at your 7-Eleven down the street, right? Pokemon live right outside your house, right? That could be captured. Um, so I would say that because this game world is, or this world is like, um, more like Digimon, where there's like a separate world. Um, Not everyone's a Digimon trainer, right? I want people who train POTEMPO or like, um, I want them to uh, kind of be seen as a special kind of like group of people, right? Like, if I keep coming back to the idea of like mysticism and spiritualism and shamanism and stuff like that. So I might need to design the characters to feel kind of like wizards and witches, again in like this fantasy setting, right? So maybe that's something that I'll have to do here, right? Maybe like robes, longer sleeves, or maybe a hoodie. How do I make them look like essentially mages, right? And so I think I want to design the quote unquote professor of my game, who is kind of like an expert, um, you know? Oh yeah, kind of like the wide. Maybe they do have capes and it's just like a short cape. That feels like very wizardy. Ooh, hold on. Wait, wow, that really changed the vibe up so much. I'll give him like a longer hoodie. He does seem very of the earth, right? And maybe instead of black, I'm gonna make it more this earthen brown. Ooh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I like it. Gotta always have fingerless gloves, I say. Um, okay, let's see here. Start organizing a project into an art book form. If I remember a year or two, would you make a digital and physical version when you release your game? I That could be a cool bonus or something, right? Because like my goal is to kind of treat this again as like a concept art book that like leads into an animated pitch or a video game pitch. Art is beautiful as ever. Thank you, Adrigo, and hello, Dr. Crowbar. Hello, Professor Redwood. No, not Scholar Redwood either. I wonder if I should do some sort of homage to Pokemon there with the scholars as well. I may call them scholars. It could be diviners. It could be mages. They could just literally be called mages, right? Um, but at the same time, I don't want to make too many homages because what ends up happening is, they'll start becoming more and more. It'll just make it like again a Pokemon kind of clone, right? Um, this is a really nice first pass, I think, for how much this character's kind of evolved. Like the proportions look better. Village Elder, not so much the Elder, but more like a society of people who kind of been, yeah, all right, let's take a look. And I'm not saying the one on the right is bad. That's where it was at the time. There's like the way the proportions match up in a more one-to-one. The right side is just a little too busy in a lot of ways. Um, and obviously it's not done. There's still plenty to do. Alchemists, shamans. That kid helps his mom with groceries at a part-time. Hell yeah. Definitely love the color scheme. Nice. Cool, cool, cool. Um, so, okay, we have this kid. I'm gonna, you know what? Like, I have a feeling, chat, but this is just the power of color in the world of design. Let's take a look and see what, like, a different, um, I guess, what the more pro tag colors might look like. Let's see if I can find anything immediately where I can just alter it, but maybe not. Okay, so there's like the reddish. Maybe it is a more darker red. It's like that's like kind of like a red orange. Um, Let me see. Maybe if I can make this mustard. I mean, I feel like in this version, I would probably do a red bandana with the yellow and the blue. It looks really good. Um, I mean, I don't hate this version either. At all. Like, this feels more pro tag to me. Yeah, no one says anything about Link where they're like, Link's not the pro tag because he's wearing green. But I gotta say, red is a really powerful color. I quite like that a lot. Cantors, Mancers, or maybe Conjurers. The current design wearing a hoodie cape thing. Yeah, kind of. It's it's like kind of like a vest with a hoodie piece, but then like this kind of very bouncy, wide, um, what do you call this? Sleeves, half sleeves. With the bottom half, I guess, is more like a um, what do you call that? Like an apron type of thing, but it's not very practical looking. It just looks cool. Red and green was looking Christmas. Now, to be fair, that's green and orange. Um, Tolkien, POTEMPO, and Star Wars POTEMPO, awesome in a future sequel. I do love Tolkien. I do love Star Wars. Those are two of like the biggest, among some of the biggest, um, franchises out. So I'll just leave this version on the side because it gives me something to kind of look at and refer to. As far as eyes, let's see. Bright blue eyes is really pro tag like. This one, I was trying to go for more. This one just feels more grounded, which I like. Because not everyone has to have like light eyes. I mean, you're the. Actually, I feel like I want to give him green. I gotta say, I'm liking this color palette quite a bit. I gotta say, Chad, I like the red. I do like the red a lot. It's very earthy. Green is fun. Homage to my dog Link. Maybe gray steel eyes. I think gray might be too neutral. That would feel like it would fit a very piercing and strong character. Misty Stream, it's been 5 months. Jesus, welcome back. Um, okay, I'd say this is a pretty decent spot to leave the main character. I'm surprised how, I'd say easily, but like I just kind of did a simple redraw over it. So I'm gonna adjust this guy's size. It feels better, like I think something like that. Um, yeah, I don't know. I really like this. There's still plenty of room. I think obviously proportion and stuff could be slightly altered. Like I can bring his arm down just a little bit. Yeah, let me just quickly again. I swear to God, after like I updated or rather every time I do an update, my Wacom tablet acts really finicky. It's really annoying. The cape thing is a little hard to understand, so I wonder if I should just. I'll remove the cape thing in this version. Concepts mean you try a lot of variations. He could use a backpack, it's never a bad thing for an adventure to have a backpack. Actually, I'd rather give him one. Maybe it'll be like ribbed, like just kind of lines. I'm gonna mute this yellow because it's a little too yellow. Yeah, something like that. Make his skin just a little richer and deeper. Okay. Pretty cool to me. I'm gonna go grab dinner. Okay, Danny. Take care. Have a good one. Thank you. I want to study abroad in another country, so I had got you. Okay, hopefully you're adjusting a little better. Satchel, Balrog or Smaug, the Golden. Yeah, but hmm, what should I do? I was thinking maybe like Sauron more than anything. Because Smaug is just a dragon. There's nothing really interesting about his design. Um, I want to do like the most unique kind of thing. With Star Wars, it's a little harder to tell. There's some options, but like I'm trying to go for the most iconic thing, right? If I were to continue things along, you know. Let me fix this eye. I wonder if I should do a thing where I make his eyebrows like visible um over his why can't I say it? Oh, bandana. But allow him to like emote a little more. Especially since I have the bandana hanging so low. Okay. No worries, no worries. Okay, so that's good. Pretty stylish and allows for better expressioning. Yeah. He looks like he's got that like typical pro tag attitude, you know? The always visible brows. Yeah, it'll just allow him to, express himself, you know? He's only the second Dark Lord. The first was Master Morgoth, who by the way created the dragons. Oh shoot. Never knew that. It's crazy. Alright. Still looking something about the eyes is looking very jank, chat. But you know what? Still made a lot of progress. Let me do this for now. There's our hero. He does look like it. I can almost see him. Yeah, well, because look, I did have Digimon style goggles, and I was like, nah, I can't do that. It'll be. I still think he does need something. He does look like a protagonist, but he's missing something. You know? But regardless, it's fine. Um, it could be a cave. Um, let's do. In the end, it's really Sauron who kind of quote unquote matters because no one really knows the other guy, right? Victory, I guess in this case, whether or not you're first or second is your popularity, and Sauron is the most recognizable, right? In that case, people always say history is always decided by the victors. Which it would make sense for bad guys to, undermine each other and all that, right? Try to take credit and this and that. I want to see him on that hover bike, yo, yeah, and that's why I kind of gave him the hate before because I pictured how it would look like on the hover bike. It would look cool, right? Maybe it's the jaw that makes the face look off. Maybe, but I kind of like that he's got like this boyish, it's not like this super crazy, um, like I mean, I think it was mostly the eyes that were bothering me, and it kind of feels like I fixed it. Either way, again, very first pass, right? I mean, I think it looks pretty great. He just needs something, Chad. He's missing one little thing. You could fuse both the Balrog and Sauron? That is true. Maybe a half cape that goes over the shoulder. Also reminds me of the Mega Man Battle Network Pro Tag. Dude, I love that dude. Lan Hikari. That's my dog. Um, I would say that I guess if anything, it could be a cape, it could be something. It might be chat. All that's missing is when you think about it, the capture device, right? Because if I had like the Pokeball here, right? Like that would immediately tell you who or what he is. Since I haven't quite defined what this world and the characters and like those who like, take care of POTEMPO look like. Once I figure that out, like what the true capture device is and all that kind of stuff, it will really be like the last thing I can kind of just add in. Triangle eye reflection looks so good with the rest. Subtlety. I always like that. I do it over here as well. I always add like a nice little cut for my highlights. It just adds a little personality. Bought the battle. Oh yeah, dude. I'm a fool. I gotta go back to this place, Park Ave Records here in Orlando. They had the freaking Metal Gear, Mega Man Battle Network, vinyl soundtrack, and I should have bought it. I don't know why I didn't. It wasn't even that expensive. It was like $30. So I'll have to go back at some point. Does the player fight at all or only commands? Only commands, but he will be kind of in the thick of it, where I want the trainers to kind of like they're putting in their essence in, I don't know why I'm working on this guy, but I really cannot wait to come in and work on like redesigning all of these older designs. Like the shapes are gonna go crazy, the colors. Does the player fight? Didn't even know. Hey, what up, Rico Boppy? Didn't even know. Dude, me neither. So imagine I'm like thumbing through, and that day I did buy. I also ordered new vinyl yesterday. It'll come in tomorrow. I did buy Akira yesterday, maybe that day that I went, which it was on sale, compared to where I was looking at it online. So I was like, oh, this is a steal too. And the reason why I didn't immediately buy the Mega Man Battle Network is like in my mind, I'm curating like this anime vinyls, that I'm into. Like obviously Studio Ghibli's like the main thing. Rico had got me some from Japan, like absolute goat. And I have Ghost in the Shell, Akira, Cowboy Bebop. So I want to continue to curate that kind of stuff, and then, I definitely want video games vinyl as well. A Pokemon game that I plan to develop would be kind of like Battle meets Mystery Dungeon, like Bakugan. For a creature to represent Star Wars as potentially either the Rancor, Krayt Dragon, Ractyl. I think that there's half of those I don't know, which would mean that more other people wouldn't know. Tauntaun would be a really good one. I think Rancor is probably up there. Probably the Mythosaur as well. I never fully understood Bakugo. God damn it, Bakugan. It was just a little past my time. So I'd seen like younger kids playing it. I'm like, man, that's for kids. But I'm sure obviously if I were younger and I saw it, it would probably be something I'd be interested in, All right, so there's the pro tag. He looks pretty damn cool. Spooky. Love the turtle dude. Thank you. I like the red, chat. I really do. The green is nice. But I'm sure obviously there's a way where I can make the green one work. But yeah, I don't fully get it. I think people are telling me how like it hits the magnet and then it pops and all that, but you know what? I should look up Tyson, because look, I'll say this: And just not just because if certain characters don't look like Tyson Beyblade. You know Ash Pokemon? This is his friend Tyson Beyblade. And look, this bro has all the colors, you know? If you look at him, there isn't anything inherently that says, I'm a player of Beyblades. Like, my life is spinny tops, right? He's just like a cool looking kid. If you're, 10 years old and you see him, you're like, I want to be this guy, you know? That's all his design is. I'm going to look up Who's the hero of Bakugo? Bakugo. Bakugan hero. Maybe red, blue, and green for the colors. It could be. Oh, look. Yeah, so this guy, bro, he looked just. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying this is just how design works. So this guy looks like this, and he does have like sunglasses. He has little Pokeball looking things, right? There isn't again anything inherently about his design. Dan Crusoe? I had no idea that was his name. Um, what do they have in common? Yellow shirt, red as like a primary color. In this case, both his top and pants. Blue gloves, fingerless gloves. The bangs, the energetic hair. Take care, Oni. Thank you. Actually, is a green reptilian-esque mantis next to. Oh my god, I've never seen those. Looking at these two, I'm just gonna. I think I know this guy's name. Hold on, let me. I don't want to say it out loud. I'll post it and then. Yeah, okay, I found it. So look, correct me if I'm wrong. I believe he's a protagonist. All right, I believe because he's looking really angry in all these, and it might just be because he's looking edgy. But the thing in this character's design is he's got the dual disc. Oh, I don't think this is official art, but I'll just keep it. Once again, look, red and blue. He's got some black, right, for a little bit of an edge. What was this other guy's name? I just saw you right, Dan. So Dan, he's got some black for a little bit of edge as well. But the big thing with the Yu-Gi-Oh stuff is like, again, they could just look like cool people around the world, right? But as long as they have their dual disc, in this case, the other guy got a card and the Bakugan thingy. There isn't anything in Tyson's design where you're like, oh, that is a Beyblader. That's just like, oh, that's just a cool dude at school, you know? It's not bad. It's just, an observation. Let's look up horse. I'm going to do. No, we got to do the OG. So in the case of this design, with Ash, he's got like a Pokemon League cap, but it's not like you see the League symbol everywhere. So once again, he's so, like protag coded because we kind of know him to be one, but he looks just like the other kid, right? Kind of like this vest situation. They both have the popped collars. Ash has a lot of fun colors: blue, red, green gloves, light green, yellow. He just looks like a kid, So sometimes that's all you really got to do. Primary colors at work. That's my boy. Testing his baby launcher behind him. Can't see it. So, but either way, if you're going to create something that's part of a design, it should probably be in the forefront, right? I'm not saying that's going to make it a better or worse design, but in a way, you want to, of course, put the things in front that make your franchise unique, I'm getting so much nostalgia right now from the Dan Kuso Bakugan he's holding. So how does that work? He's holding two. Are those two different creatures, or like how would you know which one's inside? Pretty much like a Pokeball, right? Oh, actually, no. It's not that they live inside. That's their shell, right? So like, if one was pink, you would know it's like that Bakugan. Damn. Beyblade launcher, holster, and on his arm he keeps his Beyblade. Oh, I see. Right here, right? Gotcha. Okay. Um. Okay. Thank you, Draco, for that. Something that's shouts this. Yeah, exactly. Now, again, with Ash, it's not like there's inherently anything Pokemon related on him either way. But look, these are products of their time. The point is not that I'm saying I can do better, but I can try and do my take and make a better instance of like I mean, looking at this guy, I think he really does look the part of, at the very least, an important character or a protag, right? I don't want to say like he's not finished yet, but he very clearly looks, especially with the red, might be, you know, if anything, looking at these guys, might take white, or in fact, I'll just probably, I'll still make it kind of like yellow or like a peachish because I want it to be tribal. I might just bump up the dinginess of his shirt, and that I think would really help. It's too bright, so let me do. Yeah, I like that. Enough. Oh, so that's fast. Y'all ready to stretch? They pop open and talk? Really? It's not their shell, it's their little bodies contorted into the shape of a ball. Gotcha. They just seen this Ash has a Pokeball symbol. That's true, right, Arthur? Like, so they lean into the symbol of the franchise, right? Since I don't really quite have that yet, um, it's a little harder to pull off. I might make looking at these characters for, kind of like inspiration. I might want a more royal, kind of brighter blue for his hair. This might be a little too saturated for my taste, but let me try doing something like that. Green is like a little too bright. I like subtlety more, but in the case of trying to make a protagonist, can't always do that, right? Who would win in a fist fight? No, I'm not gonna answer that. I don't know. I don't want these kids to fight. Um. So okay. Honestly, I really like my protag. He really feels like, at the very least, he feels like he fits some sort of universe. Like both Ash, in fact, I would say most of these guys feel like they could live in their respective universes, obviously, but like they could bounce in between places. This looks like a unique clothing style for the POTEMPO world, right? Yeah, because I wanted to win. That valid reason, valid reason. Um, let's do. Okay, now that we've kind of got this guy. Oh, you know what? Hold on. I'm disrespecting my boy. Hold on, hold on, hold on. This is my dog right here. So this is like the one character. Look at this, chat. Who's got like blue as his primary color. Oh, interestingly enough, look at this. Blue with the yellow and the trim. Interesting. Brown pants. Oh shit, he's got like Adidas on. He's got the socks, he's got his glove. There's an asymmetrical design element that's going on here, which is he's got like one glove band kind of thing. But again, same thing. This kid doesn't look like he's like a Digimon trainer. He's just a protagonist, right? Blue Eyes White Dragon, Slide for the Sky Dragon, POTEMPO would be epic. Ash been looking to fight a Pokemon since Gen 1. Yeah, he's always wanted to scrap. Ash would win. Um, so I would say I probably could, come up with a more unique color palette. It'll be a matter of the need. Sometimes you kind of do have to live in the stereotype or like of what's expected. Like I'm sure you guys have seen like the memes like, oh, how do you know he or she's a main character? It's like they've got colored hair, right? So we've got those characters. At the very least, I get Thai Digimon V Tamer. Digimon V Tamer. I'll look because what is V Tamer? Outdoor survival? Yeah, exactly. That's kind of what it is, right? Oh, he's got like a cape and stuff. He looks sick. The goggles. He looks like a more evolved form, essentially. He's actually, wait a second. It's just basically just a cape, and he's just a little older. Otherwise, the fit's exactly the same. Which, you know, is pretty cool. He looks like a pro tag for sure. You can't really go wrong with a cape. But Dingus is right? Like, how do you marry form and function? If the case is that these characters are going out into the wilderness and potentially taming the temple and whatnot, then more than likely they need to have the gear to safely be out there. You know what? Hold on. Let me try if it's brown boots. I do like blue pants. Or maybe it is red and we just leave that. I straight up took that color from the title. I kind of like that. He's got the primary colors going on. Rather than the brown. Because like the brown I felt like made him very warm. But the blue balances him out just a little bit. Conversely, I could take brown if I needed to. And do that for, you know? I might do that. I might just do that. Ponchos. Ponchos would be sick. Yeah. We need to include the POTEMPO trainer. Then I'm gonna say he's gonna win because I'm gonna root for my boy. V-Tamer's the Digimon manga that came before the show? No way. That's sick. I think I saw the Beyblade Protag train their own bodies to get better at the game. Oh damn. I need to give your trainer some massive fists so he can win. No, he's got the heart of gold. Armory colors check. Absolutely right. Okay. I think we've spent a lot of time on the pro tag, understandably, right? Let's start. I'm going to work on a mysterious character. And I think this will answer that question, which was how modern is this world that Kofi asked. And it's going to be, I'm going to design this guy. And I'm not going to talk much about it. All I'm going to say is that they are a mysterious character. That's literally, I think, the only... You guys can ask questions. I may or may not answer them. But, they will constantly be appearing in the story. Are you drawing the villain? I wouldn't say... I'll say this. He's not the villain, nor is he a hero. I think that's like a fair kind of middle-of-the-road answer. Doubt this would happen, but if you had to choose a Digimon as a POTEMPO... Ooh, and remember, even then, when I chose Blastoise, Charizard, Venusaur, it's just that I'm making kind of like a lizard-like POTEMPO, a turtle-like POTEMPO, and a frog-like POTEMPO. So it's not like I'm recreating it, right? I would say it would have to be Agumon. I love like War Greymon. Like, you know, I was a big Thai fanboy growing up. I also like Matt. Izzy I liked a lot too. I like Tentomon. And then Terriermon. I really like Terriermon. And his final form. Who else? Oh, huge fan of Vmon. Desperado Mon. Gee. Like a Proto Man type figure. Kind of, sort of, but like not exactly like Proto Man, Greymon, Garumon, and Andromon. There's a mix between tech and travel. Maybe there's something be. Oh no, without a doubt, Kofi. Like I've mentioned before on stream, Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, that universe is such a huge inspo for me. I'm gonna go ahead and jump into this guy. His design is going to be very simple, and I think that I'll say this: despite not being a good or a bad guy, this is arguably, and I'll see how this design kind of transforms. But he is arguably one of the most important figures in the POTEMPO world. I know that's vague, but he is without a doubt someone who I think holds so many answers. He really, really, really is a big part of the story. I'm excited, yo! I'm so excited. So, one thing is, I tend to um, find ways to kind of remix my characters. So, like, for example, every hero in my story always has like a dog, so I always have like a dog-like character. Um, and I have like this astronaut kind of character I've made for like a fine art kind of series. Um, and that's who this guy is. Like he's like this story's version of that. Um, is this vibe more like Proto Man or base? That's hard to answer. Um, it might be more. Give me another two characters. Those don't really fit here. How it reminds me of one of the bosses from No More Heroes 2. I love No More Heroes. I love doing those. What if Digimon was a Pokemon? What if Pokemon was a Spectrobe? I did with Agumon Monster Tamer. Gotcha. Brody Jones. Where's Brody Jones? Oh my god. This is that dog. No, it's not. Can I pet that dog? Can I pet that dog? In terms of story and lore, would we get more info about him? Would we? No, I promise you, you would get all the answers you need. I really wouldn't want to do it. What was a character that they kind of created like that in Pokemon that didn't get answers? I feel like there was like a pretty big one, and it like pissed everyone off, including myself. Do we know? But so to answer the question, the way I kind of want to do it is I want it to be like this civilization has kind of gone through what feels kind of like a reset. You know? Um from the outside, like us as the player, you are going to be constantly seeing scraps and things like that kind of like in the game world, which is why the main character and like in general you might see like what looks like pretty advanced tech that's been like repurposed to be either armor, maybe in some cases sometimes it works um like the main character's like hover bike type of thing, like that found that kind of aesthetic is like so my jam. And so I know it seems a little wacky, but I think how cool is it going to be when you're like in this game world, and everything seems very fantasy, and then like a fantasy astronaut man kind of appears. I mean, you would stop in your tracks. And what I kind of want to do is like there would be these kind of like carvings kind of etched in and stuff. Now, part of me wants to do something like where it's like cracked. Ash's dad, great. Now I want to see the Agumon line is POTEMPO. In terms of story, what is your plan for the shoulder? Are you going for something more practical? Or the shoulder would have something meaningful. Horizon Dawn type B. Exactly right. Post-apocalyptic POTEMPO world is POTEMPO like Zoid's. I don't know about Zoid's chaotic century. So tell me about that. Rex is saying silver for Pokemon Chronicles. Yes, exactly like that. Instead of giving you a cool character like Silver, and then you kind of get ideas about who he is like over time, like outside of the game, I would make sure you guys know about who this mysterious character. Why am I getting Death Stranding vibes? Because Death Stranding's dope and this is dope. Would he have POTEMPO or would he not use them due to reasons? Another amazing question. I'll say this. He has the command of a legendary POTEMPO. All right. I think he would have like a POTEMPO stack as well, but you may not. I'm trying to be vague as hell, gang. You might have to. How do I say this? Might have to wait and see because I don't want to say too much. What can I say except you're welcome? No. He's got a stack, but like he seldom uses it. All this is of course subject to change. I want him to again to look like very mysterious, like he is like if the main protagonist is like in a way think of like maybe a lot of POTEMPO trainers or monks or shamans. They're like as much as they are like I would say moreover than being say I don't know, something like trainers, they're probably like archaeologists and stuff first. So maybe that might give a little bit more of a hint of like what this guy is. Does that help at all or no? Does that make it even more confusing? He walked around barefoot. He's got like bandages wrapped up all the way. I figure like if I'm gonna tell this sick story, I want to go all the way. I want to like do some cool stuff. Is he hot? I'm only asking the most important questions. No, he's not. Um, Does their cult factor come from what they say or what they do? That's a sick question. Um, I would say I think it's more his like connection and mastery of like of a particular POTEMPO. You know, um, as I was explaining before, the mythicals, right? The mythics, they're creatures you summon. So the fact that he's able to summon one in particular is kind of like his partner in a way, is really puts him in, really, what's the word? Like it that truly kind of elevates, right? Um his stature, right? Um do they talk? I mean, I think they do, but one of the things I was kind of considering is it might be that you don't understand what he's saying. What does that mean? Chat, what would that mean? Like he might be full on speaking, but you're like, what language is that? Zoid's Chaotic Century has these giant living war machines that look like giant cats and dinos. See, I know what Zoids is the design wise, but I've never heard the story, so I'm excited to hear. Mixed with Gundam. So yeah, I remember there was like Liger Zero, and I always wanted that model kit. His proportions are off, so I'm just gonna... He looks so silly right now. While you have all this future stuff around the world, then they feel antiquated. The main character finds a girl who's from the super advanced past. Gotcha. Are there robots in this world? I don't think there are robots. I don't think there are robots. I'd just say like the tech from a previous civilization. And then I'll also say this. Maybe, all these different cultures and mythologies, maybe the POTEMPO. No, I gotta chill. I mean, you can kind of piece it together potentially, but I'm not saying. I might need to like stylize this a bit more at some point. Now, look, he's obviously way too huge in this incarnation. I'm going to shrink him down, obviously, just a little bit. I've had like so many different stories where I've had like this, like I've designed like an astronaut man. And this is definitely one of the coolest looking, in my opinion. You know what? If realistically... do something like that. Now, is he part of like, I don't know, like the bad guy team or something? The answer is not entirely clear. You're kind of getting the feeling that no, he's not. You know? Maybe I'll have his like spacesuit type of thing visible like that. Yeah. And just like his suit can have like these bandages that are like coming up. God, I hate that he would have all these kind of like cool markings. Etches of runes and stuff. Okay, let me catch up with you guys here. She's, I guess, the mystery character. Don't let Dan Snyder or Tarantino see this design. God damn it. How old is he? He's speaking English. He's Kamen Rider. I know you probably can't detach yourself from his body and have it float because I'm 90% is human, but it look cool. Bonny John multiple all astronauts. 100%. It's all astronauts. I'll say this. I cannot answer a lot of your questions because I don't want to, like, again, give out more than I need to. But he does look cool, right? Maybe he... I want him to have, like, whatever the POTEMPO device is, it's like floating in his hand. And then you gotta do the holes, you know? Honestly, this is sick, dude. Don't you want to learn more about him? Damn, I want to say so much, but I really can't. Maybe on his arms he's got like these tattoos, like it continues the pattern. Chat, I really wonder who he is. Truly. I have no idea. You know what? I'll make it more gold. And maybe the goldish kind of thing might tell you a little bit. Hell, even if I turn this gold, it might add a little bit more, but... There's got to be a stream where you work on some symbols or letters related. Yeah, maybe, right? Yeah, he's neat. Does he ever take off his helmet? Can't answer that. I love how organic this textile is. Hell yeah, thank you. Bonnie says he's not hot, but he's looking kind of hot. He's looking hot, but like... I can't explain. I can't explain. Cannot explain. Yeah, there you go. That's the actual answer. Now I can talk about it. So he's basically the starters of the region. No, I'm just kidding. Like I said, I'm probably not going to do starters. As I've said many times. Alright, so the reason why I kind of wanted to do this guy next, right, is because, you know what? Chat, I'll just do it. I'm just going to illustrate something how I kind of like pictured this. You can levitate. after this, I'm going to design, again, the scholar or whatever I end up calling it. He's going to kind of be the lead, um, the lead, like, expertise kind of person. Um, and he's going to kind of infer, let's just say this. His clothing style will kind of infer what all POTEMPO trainers might look like in the world. And it may be derived from whatever's going on with this character. That's all I'm going to say. It's Ryan Reynolds. It is Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds will be playing this character. That's where all the money is coming from. Is he Bonny John under the helmet? No, not this cool. It's actually just a Ditto. No, get Ditto out of here. This ain't no Pokemon. It's the solo game effect. The less we see of the face, the more hot they are. The protagonist from the future and the main villain of the game. Can either confirm nor design. It's Chris Pratt. Get out of here. Mysterious traveler who travels across the traveling dimensions doing traveling research on all kinds of different potempos traveling across time. Nope. He's a Jedi? Also nope. But he does look really freaking sick, right? Also, again, shout outs to you, Adobe. I hate you so much. And Wacom, you're also kind of messing me up. Alright. I just got a 30-minute stretch timer. Let's get it, chat. Any more questions? I'm sorry, you guys. I can't answer questions about this guy. You know? I'm going to tame the design down a little more, like, to fit the art style, like, once I, like, really get there. But, yeah. It's going to be sick. Still got to figure out, is the guy going to be, meaning the professor, is he going to be hydration check? Thank you, King. Cheers. Hit for what in particular? See, the thing is, like, he's so important to not just the story, you know? Like, meaning, like, the story of this game, but, like, the overarching world, lore. Why draw a character you can't say anything about? To create mystery and intrigue. He looks so freaking sick, dude. I'm gonna get more, like, torn up. It is very, very fun to hear your guys' theories. Throw your theories out. Because he looks so cool. Exactly. So you got it. You don't need a reason not to draw a character in that. It's his Uncle Ben? I love this. I love hearing this stuff. General question, how willing is this character to sacrifice themselves if it was necessary to the goal? I don't think they would. I don't think they would. How much wood could... A lot. A lot. Too much to count. Let's just say the final version of this, it'll probably be like wooden armor and stuff potentially instead of metal. Maybe some metal pieces, obviously. Main character, I am your father. How do I get this pose down? Because this leg looks jank. Characters with helmets always cool. You know? Crack theory is to protect from the future where everything went wrong. He's coming back to fix those mistakes. I think, did JC mention that? My theory is that this is Dr. Dan from Planet Bop, here to spread the vibes. You just spoiled it for everyone, dude. I start from scratch. Kind of makes me think of Crux from Spectrobes. Tell me about Crux from Spectrobes, because we always wonder who he was and why he was want to use Dark Spectrum and such instead of just using the crawl. So none of that makes sense to me. So as someone who doesn't know, tell me about Crux, Crawl, Dark Spectrobes, all that. There's hints here. Like, I don't want to say hints, but there is like, okay, maybe this will help. Actually, yeah, that's more fitting. I mean, it's not like I'm not trying to like help you guys figure it out entirely. And you know, I do want it to. I can't say. Chad, I can't say. He does look hella cool. That's the most important thing. Yeah, let's wrap his feet like that. Okay. Let's see. The One Piece is real. Crux the dude who did things, man. Explain. When did you learn how to work out anatomy? I mean, not this is accurate, but you, like, literally, if you draw every day and, you know, you kind of get an idea of how things are supposed to be. Obviously, when you're ready, you must use reference. I'm not. I'm just kind of like shoving where I think things are supposed to go. But you get a general idea, you know? You just kind of get a general idea. Um, Dingus writes, he reminds me of Dimpleborg from Grung when he does the same thing when he gunglifies the. You guys, you're spoiling everything. He didn't make it up. That's real. It's real as Gervin the Gibber or whatever you said earlier. I'm glad I can make it before you end. Welcome in. Do they even have a face under the helmet? Definitely. Definitely not. No, he has a face. He's a person. Or is he? No, he's a person. Yeah. All I'll say. Hmm. Trying to see what kind of pose I want for the bottom half. Guess I just make him stand, but. No, that looks sick too. But he does look mad big compared to the kid. Which, by the way, I don't have a name for the kid yet. I do have to get them. You know what? I kind of want to do like gray down here, and then I'll take like the red of his cape and like it's like fastening it together. You know? Okay. Crawler the evil monsters and spectros, and they're dumb. Crux controlled them. He was smart. We thought that he was just like a weird smart crawler from Norm. No spoilers. Does he have symbol on his helmet? There's a bunch of carvings and stuff just all over his body. I don't know if he'll have a specific symbol. This is probably more like a more accurate size. Crack theory, this is the Mewtwo of POTEMPO. That's sick. Where are we driving now? We're drawing a very important character to the lore of POTEMPO. So we were talking about anatomy earlier. I have to look up fabric because this is clearly not how like a cape would kind of move and stuff and fasten to the body. Okay. I'll just kind of like wrap this up here just about. Meaning going to the next character who is going to be the game's version of like Professor and whatnot. This arm needs to be bigger. So at some point when I do come around to drawing this guy, at least the proportions will be closer to what I think they need to be. Let's make this shoulder piece bigger. Kind of want to make this part wider. Ooh, you know what? Maybe just have his arm like down here, and then his like totems are like floating around him. Maybe. All right, we'll leave that for now. That looks pretty sick to me. I drew over the other one, so I don't have the starting point. So I guess I'll do a part 2 of characters tomorrow. I'll do like the rival character tomorrow. I'll do like your chieftain lady tomorrow. He looks badass. Yeah, I think so too. This game makes me think of a black hole or Saturn's rings. We're drawing homeless magic man. We're drawing Professor Dr. Matt. What are the odds we'll guess this guy's origin? Is it possible, or is this guy's origin really out there? As of right now, let me look through this. There is... There is, between the theories... Mysterious Traveler, Crack Theory, Dr. Dan from the planet Bob. I don't think, as of right now, no one's kind of gotten anywhere close, which is very exciting. Theory, this is Norm. Norm is a normal man who got his head stuck in an old astronaut helmet, and now everyone thinks he's some sort of mysterious... In reality, he's just Norm. How knowledgeable is this professor scholar character? Does he have a set amount of knowledge, or does he know more stuff as we continue? I would say he's fairly intelligent, or not intelligent, but like meaning he's fairly equipped to, at the very least, guide the main character. I like the idea of like POTEMPO being something that's essentially kind of like its own school of magic, in that people don't have like a full grasp on what they are yet. You know, in a way, they're kind of like the cryptozoology kind of like entities, cryptids, um, as we've come to know them, right? Um, I would say that's the case. Um, whereas, you know, in Pokemon, Pokemon are again around like every, you know, block corner. You can buy Pokeballs, like it's like a regular item in the world. Everything of Potempo, I'd like it to be more and more um like just mysterious and like in a way like almost like treated like Jedi, right? Like in Star Wars, um it's like um the Jedi, when you see them, you're supposed to be like, oh, cool, they're the Jedi. And it's not like the bad side of the Jedi. Like, some people are like, oh, the Jedi are like, people who like work with Potempo. Well, no, to be fair, I guess as I take a short little break, here's the guy we'll be illustrating now. He's going to be like, again, like the professor character. Um, it's definitely a situation where people are like wary of the Potempo. Some people think they're good, other people are scared of them because they're not like fully understood. These guys just really want to know about them, you know? Wasn't the chieftain the protag's older sister? Is that scrapped? I might scrap that. Um, it doesn't really matter if she is the sister or not, you know? Um, so if it adds to the story, then, you know, I can make it the sister. If not, like it could, you know, the chieftain's still someone you would want to respect, right? Um, Wait, is it the main character's son from the future, or is it closer to AZ from Pokemon XY? We'll just have to wait and see. Um, okay, so looking at this guy, um, you can kind of see where I, you know, have the inspiration from the Pokemon professors, right? Long coat, you can clearly see he's got glasses. Um, why is that important for this design? And the answer is, well, because yeah, you trust someone who's in a long coat, right? There's some things, whether it's from Pokemon, and guess what? Science wasn't discovered in Pokemon. Professors who study, you know, didn't originate there. Um, I also want to kind of liken him to be, in a way, kind of like, again, a mage, right? Like the look feel should kind of be kind of like the main kid. He looks like protagonist, but he's kind of got like this fantasy kind of garment on, right? Um, Same thing over here with this guy. Like he should look like a fantasy mage man that feels somewhat modernized, right? Like the way like the main character looks like he's got like a modern fit, you know, he looks like he's got the swag of a modern kid, you know. He's not like a simple like peasant boy, you know, from a random tribe, you know. Besides from cool, why is the scholar buff? Does he fight a lot? I just wanted to make a buff scholar. I don't think he fights a lot, but as Dingus was saying earlier, right, as far as like introducing things like form and function, I want most, if possible, fun character design will always trump it, but like I would want most of the um most of the characters out there to feel like they could survive in ruins and places where they would need to study these things, right? Um, I really like blue and green for this guy. I had a lot of green and orange, so let's go ahead. I'm going to make, yeah, and I'm gonna make it like a coat, like he's again a scholar and a scientist, but he's also a mage, right? Essentially, anyone who studies the tempo is kind of a mage in a way. They're summoning and learning about these creatures, you know, from another world. The updates from this design composed compared to the previous ones that I had were that I think the other one just felt a little too. It just had a lot of things going for it. This time it's a little more streamlined, and I think that's going to be important. That said, I do think he could kick anybody's ass if anyone tried him. You know, again, I wanted these guys to feel very capable. You know? So we're at 2 hours in. What I want to do is essentially, you know what? I wonder, should I give him like a cloak? So he'd feel like even more like a mage? I think I might do that. Instead of like, I gave him kind of like a beret type of thing. Lord's friend, indeed. Lore-wise, is he from our town? Maybe he has colors or something similar to the MC if he's in the same. That is a great idea. He is not from the town. As of right now, the way I kind of see this guy as of right now is he's certainly a worldly figure, and our character comes from, in its current incarnation of the story, our character comes from a world where they are maybe a little more separated from the people. They like kind of live off the land and whatnot. So our character is supposed to be a fish out of water kind of thing, you know? And so he's gonna find this guy who, you know, explains to him and whatnot that like, no, there's this like crazy big world out there. You know, you have this power. I think you're da 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 da. You know. To be fair, field researchers need to be capable of traversing the world in some way. So it is not exactly. And I think that, you know, as far as body shape, these are the kind of things that a designer needs to look out for. I don't think we have a professor in Pokemon who's like this large and massive. Again, not that I'm trying to make him a professor counterpart. Like, the reason why I'm doing that is because I know people will look at him like that, and they're not entirely wrong. You know, he's your guide. He teaches us about the world and all that. You know. So he'll have a pretty simple design. Ideally, whatever the POTEMPO research team, whatever their symbol is, it'd be like right up here. You know? This, and then this guy's design was created back when the POTEMPO like still had the lantern stuff, and yesterday the timing right was pretty good, where we're talking about whether or not the lantern will be back as part of the capturing and summoning process. Don't know if that's the case, but I'm going to allow him, if the lanterns don't come back in full capacity, he will carry at least one of his POTEMPO in a lantern like this. I quite like that quite a bit for him. I'm going to also curl up his staff like that. And so it's like a walking staff, and you know, he is an adventure type. I like that whether or not the lantern concept again stays and lands, him having a lantern with his POTEMPO guiding him is still really fitting, right? So he can have his POTEMPO kind of maybe here, and then the fire kind of going. Do you meet any other scholars like him? Are they aware of each other? Absolutely. This is going to be a society, you know, because whereas, like, again, in Pokemon, like, it's like this large institution, you know, like, dedicated to studying Pokemon, and it's probably, you know, accredited and all that kind of stuff. In this universe, it would be more so that you would be in such rare company that, like, yeah, like, if you do find people who are, you know, trying to solve the mystery of POTEMPO or just learn about their origins and all that kind of stuff, of course you would want a network, right? So it would still work out kind of like Pokemon in that maybe region by region. Not that it's maybe specialties, but like people are different. Different people are like the leaders of their chapters, right? They're going to be more than just a professor. Like, I have a feeling I kind of want this guy to be, you know, even, again, I don't fully know the context of battling in my world yet, but it may very well be something like, if there are challenges with POTEMPO and stuff, he's leading the, you know, captains or whatever. Well, I guess Pokemon use captains at one point, but he'll be like leading those people as well. Like if there's like challenges and stuff. Not that I don't think they have like the right or capacity to say you can have a POTEMPO, you can have a POTEMPO. Because at the end of the day, the POTEMPO will, you know, they want to be with the people they trust and whatnot. But more maybe if in like a capacity like, you know, you're strong, but it's very dangerous up ahead. If you could beat my travel captain, I'll let you pass. Like as far as like a video game logic and whatnot, right? Like maybe if I have to like block off you know, sections where you can't enter, my version of gym leaders, it's not like, I think in the Pokemon universe, like Professor Oak doesn't have a sway in the Pokemon League, right? The Pokemon League is its own thing. You know? That makes sense. Because again, POTEMPO is like a smaller secret club, essentially, right? There could still be various quote unquote clubs, right? Maybe like some people believe POTEMPO should be used this way. Some people, maybe they don't use POTEMPO, but like they're out here, you know, following these guys and making sure what they're up to and sabotaging them because they're afraid of what POTEMPO might do to the world, right? He is friend. He is our friend. Worldwide, what are the type of biomes? It's going to be your run-of-the-mill, like, you know, just can't go wrong with the ice biome, the probably the hot, lava-like biome. You've got, um, you know, the jungle, the swamp, like all that kind of stuff. Rosebooks weighs 100 pounds, 100%. The design so far, it's pretty simple, but I think it works, right, chat? Like, how are we feeling about this design? Like, it's doing what it needs to. It's a little simple, but this is kind of like technically the second pass. I think I could still very much continue to iron it out. Is your D&D campaign a public or private thing? Oh, that's gonna be private, just for my homies. Actually, I can show you. Show you guys a little thing that I've made for it. Like small little, not recap video, but kind of that. I'm gonna give this guy fingerless glove because you got to. I'm gonna give him. Maybe I think I may have let you guys listen to it before, but it's been a while, so. Actually, I guess I'll keep it simple. All right, another stretch time. It's 8:41 now. I'm gonna try and finish this up in 20 minutes. So, or maybe just a little less than 21 minutes or 20 minutes. Do you like the tribal look better? I feel like this design is too modern. It's not done though. It's not done, yo. Seems friendly, but also they could kick butt. Hell yeah, I like it. I don't mind that it's simple. Yeah, and it's gonna be like a good balance, right? Like, I'm gonna find ways to like kind of push it back in a way, right? So he doesn't feel too modern. And then conversely, like, it's gonna continuously be that search of like making it feel modern and not. And in a way, it's kind of cool because this guy is in a different, place than, say, main character, right? Like, the main character is in a secluded part of the world. It would make sense that their clothes are, more stylized in that way. And it could be really cool that, like he's from the Western world in a sense, right? It's kind of like how I'm treating it. So his clothes look different. Not everywhere in the world will be the same, Maybe this wood is, got like special POTEMPO wood, I don't really want to play into the tree thing because I showed off a tree design very early. Maybe that is a special tree. Question: outside of POTEMPO, are there any shows you're currently watching? I'm currently not watching POTEMPO unless there's an anime I don't know about, Dingus. I had started The Acolyte, and I liked it, and I do want to continue watching it, but I kind of fell off at, like, I kind of need to find like a time, or maybe it's just better when it's done. I can like jump in and watch everything, but what else? Acolyte, I get started for a brief moment, which I like the first two episodes. Poterium could be the wood's name. No, I think that's a little too, like we were saying yesterday, not everything needs to have that. Like, this is in the real world, right? So it would probably be whatever this, um, whatever that area of the world is called, right? You know, if there's like the name of a city or a province or like the town nearby, it might be called, you know, um, anything that feels like logical to the area itself. That said, I've been thinking more and more, again, based on the notion that maybe POTEMPO, um, if they're not part of the world in the sense of like Pokemon, right? Like we can think about like in Pokemon, like, oh, you know, this Pokemon lives here, Snorlax blocks this way. I could do that kind of stuff, and I think it's more than likely that I'll have that. But I want like the Potempo to be um, more creatures who crossed over and are causing havoc inadvertently or otherwise. You know. Um, so yeah. Um, Let me see here. Performance shows are released an episode. I agree. I 100% agree. That way it's scheduled exactly right. In reality, I should be on top of it right now. So it doesn't get like too stacked. Um, but yeah, it just lets the show live a lot longer too in the cultural zeitgeist, you know? I heard about the actor. Probably not going to touch it. Last time was a touch Mandalorian. Oh yeah, 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 dude. I did start the boys. I did start the boys. And I saw the first episode. Hope the actor who plays Mother's Milk is okay because he looks almost sickly skinny. So that kind of threw me off just a little bit. Um, I heard it was getting review bombed, which is really annoying. I know exactly who's doing it. Yeah, I like the Lantern chat, but like, it feels like it might be better suited for like a few people. Like, kind of difficult to draw. It's a lot going on with the concept, you know. I like his like sleeves rolled up. Like he's like a guy who's like really hitting the ground, truly being a part of the world. Yeah, you know what? Maybe it's like the hoodie part that kind of helps him feel a little more on the like so the design doesn't feel too like simple. You know, if that was the concern. He's probably like build like your classic strongman. Exactly. Starlight and MMs. Dude. Look, to each their own, plastic surgery and all that kind of stuff. But I saw a picture of the actress. By the way, season one Starlight, season two Starlight, like so cute. I love her look. I think she's very attractive. I've noticed it's a little like inconsistent in season three. Like sometimes she kind of looks normal to me. Other times I'm like, bro. And it just really sucks that we live in a world where like these actresses and actors feel like in order for me to have a job or a career, I gotta look a certain kind of way, and they kind of skew in their head, realizing like, no, you like you don't just look good, like you actually look really attractive. You're really this, you're really that. But they don't believe it, you know. And I get it. I have my own body dysmorphia, so I'm like, part of me is like, crap, I can't even say anything. I want to be adorable, massive man. Should I do... Yeah, let me do that. Let's try like that for now. Does he look angry? He looks kind of angry and insane. How do I make... You know what? I'm just straight up cut this because this I quite really... Oh, I can't give him these bangs because the bangs are very similar to my MC. Sorry, derpy man. You're gonna get a little plastic surgery yourself. There you go. I really want to give this guy like the gray beard and really fulfill the mage kind of archetype. But I think it'll be too much like Pokemon, you know? You gotta watch Gen V if you want to watch The Boys. Is that true? Crap, I did start that a while ago, but then I kind of fell off of it. I liked it, but I don't know why I stopped. I started watching the first of those episodes in Japan when we had a free day. And it was good. But is there anything like super important in there that happens, I guess? Because when I started it, it didn't feel like... I mean, obviously, I guess it's like something that happens a little later as far as a repercussion, right? But I didn't notice anything. Yeah, he can't have that hairstyle. He's biting the MC's hairstyle. It could be like... Then he looks like a hipster, though. It's face-off technology. Cutely angry. The Symbolizer sending me. He's so owl-coated. Maybe the lantern's tucked on his belt. I like the lantern here. This really tells us a lot about him. Like, that really enhances his design quite a bit, you know? Is there a leech POTEMPO planned? If not, I just found the Burak Badi, a massive serpentine black leech with 9 eyes. No, currently I don't really have a leech, but if there's thematically it kind of lines up with a POTEMPO I need to create, that's always something to keep in the back pocket. Imagine if he accidentally gets his glass knocked, he's some big old anime eyes, that'd be so cute. And maybe he's like really mad. You know? My special eyes. What's his voice like? It comes after several seasons. Yeah. It's not Santa Claus. We've gone over this before. I changed the design very much since then. Unless he still looks like Santa Claus. If he does, let me know. I don't want him to look like Santa Claus. Let's see. Yeah, it comes out between season 3 and 4. I don't know if it actually takes place in between those seasons. It might. My glasses. Yeah, it's the Velma special. How does his hair look? Or maybe he's just bald. Maybe he's just bald. He does. I feel like he does need something there. Scholar Wood Owl. Trying to think of a name. Yeah, it's probably going to be Scholar. Or, if not the Scholars, again, it's like anything like as far as adventurers or explorers, people who like go through like the runes and stuff, you know? Who shed information about the POTEMPO because it's not super readily available. It's information that's kind of been lost over time. It's, you know, I like the concept and where like people are you know, they are scared, very much scared of a Potempo. Like if you don't, like, you know, obviously in Pokemon, there are people who are afraid of Pokemon. But like it's kind of rare. It's like maybe they're afraid of like specific Pokemon, you know? He does look like a magician kind of man, which is nice. But maybe he doesn't have to have a white coat. Maybe this part, maybe as the leader of the gang, he does need to feel older, but that was the issue. I wanted him to be like this more older, ancient mage man. And he had gray hair, but everyone's like, he looks like Santa Claus. I was like, he does. So, like, I feel like someone who studied, like, Potempo his whole life, you know, would be the play here. You shall not pass. He secretly has luscious hair underneath the hood. Is that asleep? Still on the stream? Alright. Actually, a user of the six eyes. He seems kind of like a buff, glasses wearing Ron Weasley. His name could just be called the Overseer. Nah. Domain expansion, endless knowledge. Like Beedrill? I think scholars work. I feel like they could still fit the name, be more in the field. Yeah, but the issue is, it is maybe a little too much of a, I think, Pokemon nod with Professor. So I think there is a better fit name. Like Scholar sounds good, but I'm not in love with it. Beedrills just don't like humans. Oh, okay, yeah, gotcha. That's what you mean. I'm gonna try green with this guy's fit. Um, Green is a very knowledge kind of color. So let me try green. Oh, and then maybe. I mean, this looks pretty nice. He looks like a smart. Ooh, wait. I kind of like that. What could his hair be like? And then that way, yeah, the orange backpack, and that's gonna look a lot better with the green. Yeah, he doesn't have to be. They don't have to have like white. Or you know what? Maybe he's not like the. You know what? Okay, this is what I'll do. He's not the lead. He's not the lead member of this like expedition crew, but he takes you under his wing. That works for me. So he's probably got a boss. This just happens to be your person. You know what? That seems right. You guys agree? So he's still got like a boss ahead of him. He looks a little mean. I don't want him to look mean. I do like when I fill in the white eyes, but it looks too cartoony. All right, that's my timer. It's officially 9 o'clock, chat. So I'm going to start wrapping it up here. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you hit a like. We'll quickly kind of go over the designs really quickly before I call it. But yeah, tomorrow I'll work on, some more character designs. I want to do the rival, and I want to do, your tribal chieftain. Oh. Okay. Maybe mix a staff with a cane. I mean, that's exactly what it is. It's a walking stick, which is exactly like a staff and a cane. Maybe a salt and pepper thing where some streaks of gray. I did consider that a while back. It looks neat. Imagine the other scholars are color coordinated alongside the kaiju ones. I probably wouldn't do that. But welcome back, Adrigal. Senior scholar could take the protag as the new scholar. Yeah, something like that. It's the tone of the series is silly or maybe more like serious. I would say that it's it's definitely silly. It's gonna be a kid's property at the end of the day, but it'll have like those moments like in Yu-Gi-Oh where it's like all of a sudden it gets like a little dark and you're like, whoa, this is dark even for Yu-Gi-Oh. You know, even for a kids show. With Pokemon, maybe it's a little harder because they've got that brand to protect. So that's fine. But even Digimon has kind of like tougher kind of moments, and hmm. Let me do. Want his head to, yeah, be like really small, like he's really at the top of this body, like a mountain. And then what? The pen pressure was just so annoying to deal with all day, chat. Not all day, but as soon as stream started. So tomorrow it should be fixed. That's why all the lines, there's no like pen pressure. Like, you see how that goes? There's still a few things I don't love about the design. Like, what's this bit right here? I guess it's his like shirt. If anything, I guess it could appear here. Yeah, I like him. I like him a lot. I like PS1 Hagrid. I also found either Prevo or an alt Evo for the Omukade, the Conrid. Interesting. Definitely got to save those in case they ever need to be pulled up. I have like a decent library. Okay, so here's the Pro Tag, who I really, really like this version quite a bit. Again, I look at this guy, he's fine, but he felt placeholder for sure. So That feels really good. And then, dude, this guy is so sick. So at about 2.5 hours in, we got a decent 3 designs. We learned more about this guy, whoever he is. Um, so awesome. I'm very pleased with today's work. What do you guys think? Let's take a minute or two to kind of go over this stuff. I need that turtle as a plushie. Final one should look really great. Um, let's see. I like the design. They look awesome. Good. What POTEMPO would this guy use? You know what? Let me do that. Thank you, JC. He looks awesome, Jolly. Thank you, thank you. I'll do that as the last thing. First, I'm going to take a photo of especially the pro tag. Awesome. I'm so glad, dude. I really like the pro tag a lot. He's missing just one little bit as far as X factor. I've got to for sure lock that down. I'm gonna post this on my Instagram for my story. They look awesome. Good, good, good. Let's see. I'm going to like them all. Me too. I think the scholar guy just needs a little bit of tweaking. I don't know what it is exactly. This guy, whenever I get to his final design, oh my god, he's gonna look so cool. He doesn't feel like he fits the world yet, but I'm still defining that, right? Again, all I'm gonna say is maybe his knowledge, his less the tech, but maybe like his culture kind of informs the scholars group. So, you know. Do you have a name for the Bonny Mom? Yeah, man, we've been saying it all day. POTEMPO. It's POTEMPO, baby. You can see him using the Chimera. Ooh, the Scholar? No, the Scholar wouldn't use Chimera. I think this Chimera might be a great fit for this guy, potentially. He picked him up because he thought it was cute, not for battle reasons. He looks like he would use the Owlbear or the Conqueror. Honestly, Dr. Crowbar, yeah, the Owlbear is an absolute pick for him. Could be like an ace for him, potentially. He's not a big-time battler. And remember, I don't want to outwardly say that POTEMPO, their main use in the world is like battling, which is not the case for Pokemon. It is for the sake of like the anime and stuff. And yeah, naturally it'll lean more battle because it's a game and stuff. But story-wise, there will be like other kind of uses and things like that. Skyman's accidental grandpa acquisition. Perhaps being otherworldly in design would be fitting. He is somewhat otherworldly, yet very much part of our world. Probably that was established. Yeah, to be fair, it's been how long since I announced POTEMPO, you guys? Like the formal name, maybe a month. Spencer writes, "Hey man, you've outdone yourself. Thank you. These are all fantastic. All you need is to feel like they're from the same world. Hell yeah." That's exactly what I hear. Pokemon battles more like sporting events. Yeah, I guess so. With POTEMPO, I don't want it to be like entertainment. Like you're battling because you need to. And that's kind of how it feels like in Digimon too. With Digimon, it's okay if they wanted to do that because they're digital creatures. These are spirits, extensions of yourself and stuff. Like I want to be very precious about all that kind of thing, Obviously battling will be a thing, so don't worry. Okay. So what that means, there's several meanings to it. So if you want to like go back and check out that stream, like I do kind of break it down, and I might be still changing the name, like maybe potentially changing it. POTEMPO, it really does work. My only fear is it sounds a little too much like Pokemon because it's POTEMPO and that's Poke. Anyway, I'll always be the harshest critique of myself. I can also see him using one of the giants. I don't see him using the giants, but I see why you would say that. I see it the opposite. I think he'd love like, you know, cuter, smaller guys, you know? Um, but anyway, which stream? I think it's something like I have the name in like big letters. It's like POTEMPO in the thumbnail, so you can't miss it. But all right, chat, it's about time to call it. We're a little past 2.5 hours in. Um, Definitely had a fun time. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you guys like the stream. Dust Bunny. Oh yeah, maybe it could be Dust Bunny. Um, I just like that trope, the gentle giant trope, you know. Um, but tomorrow I'll be doing. Okay, let me see the archetypes that I need to get done. That I really want to get done. I've got hero, chieftain, professor. So tomorrow I'm gonna do the rival. Huh. The rival, the chieftain. I'll do one more, which will be, and then the next day I'll do another 3 characters. I guess it'll be. We'll figure it out tomorrow. I have in my list shaman, which I guess could now be the scholar's boss. Um, the town kook, the merchant. Oh, and the king, who might be like the primary antagonist. But have a nice night, you guys. Thank you so much. Is there a small baby bird? Maybe. That'd be nice. But I'm going to call it. You guys have a wonderful night. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Make sure you hit a like. Be well. See you tomorrow. What if it's Giants versus Gentle Giants? That's something to sleep on.